Alright, I'm back. Hey everybody. Let's play Assassin's Creed. Hold on, let me turn off the Miami Dolphins down there. Thank you. Thank you, Miami Dolphins. Thank you very much. Appreciate your input. Let's play Assassin's Creed 1. Let's pretend like it's 2007. Alright, you bought your new console, you bought your Xbox 360 or your PS3. And you've been waiting. You've been waiting for a game to tell you why. And here's Ubisoft. Fresh off of making many... I'm never gonna register. Making a whole generation's worth of Prince of Persia games. And they're probably thinking, gosh darn it, games are getting so expensive. Wouldn't it be great if we didn't have to pay Jordan Mechner? This is my theory. And this is when you get Assassin's Creed. A really cool, HD, edgy, grown-up version of Prince of Persia, kind of? Not really, but sort of. I think leaked footage for this hit. Oh, it's not even running. I was curious about this. I was curious if this game would just not even run. Because, I don't know. Like, I didn't expect it to. Because PC ports were garbage. I figured since this was like a director's cut, that it might actually run. What do I do? Maybe I just reboot? Maybe I just reboot. I'm gonna guess some anti-piracy shit is just not letting it go. Anyway, it's the dawn of a new generation. Everybody wants to pilot their own property. I don't know what to do. I guess I'll reboot. I guess I'll just reboot my PC. Hopefully that'll fix it. See you soon. Okay. Got it working on Xbox backwards compatibility, which... I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit of a letdown. I think this is gonna be a scouting run more than anything else. Because I really wanted to see what the game looked like. And on like a modern PC with nudges from INIs and graphical effects added and things like that. Yeah, the frame rates I'm not excited to see again. So I don't know. I think I'll take a look at it for like 15 to 20 minutes. See how my memory holds up. And then I think I'll just invest more time in getting the PC version working. You're not losing anything, you're locked 60 on a computer? Well, at least it'll be 60 and a higher resolution. Oh, does it have a resolution boost on Series X? I was wondering about that. I didn't know if Assassin's Creed 1 had any, like, FPS or res boost business going on. What's up, Buzzy Maniac? Yeah, Queefer Sutherland's. The PC version is very difficult to work with. It crashes on launch now. And yeah, somebody in chat sent a link, but I've definitely tried 3 or 4 solutions offered by Google and none of them worked. I think it's just their DRM. It might be beyond the pale now. Which is weird because they're selling it, so like it has to work in some form or fashion, but it definitely doesn't work out the box. Which seems pretty fucked. Game is so brave enough to not have any color. Remember the commercials for Assassin's Creed 1 really sold me on the game? Teardrop synced to the gameplay. Yeah, Teardrop was sort of the promo song for this. Ubisoft had a minute there where they were picking some pretty hot tracks for all of their like game promos. This was just from a different era of Ubisoft. I mean, there's like the new one, Mirage, which, oh geez. So, okay, there is a res boost. That's interesting. Alright, this looks okay.
I perceive that this also was a chasing after wind. For in much wisdom is much grief.
Ladies want me! I wonder if I can, let me see if I can turn on subtitles. It's probably like 50-50 if this game has subtitles. They weren't It wasn't a thing you could just assume back in the day. It seems like I can't assume it here. Alas.
And he that increaseth knowledge, increaseth sorrow.
Yeah, Ubisoft wasn't afraid to be weird and avant-garde then.
I can't anchor him to the next.
And that spirit has been completely drilled out of them as a company. Jesus Christ.
Retreating.
Desmond, I need you to try and relax.
But who knows? Maybe... Oh,
Let me try and stabilize him.
maybe after getting publicly shamed in the games media, they've actually hired like a diverse group of people and a desire to do something original again. Who knows?
Can't hurt you.
Damn it. It's not working.
Give me a shove.
He'll adjust. The first time is never easy.
We're losing him.
That's enough, Mr. Mann.
We need to pull him out. Now.
All right, Desmond. We're going to try and bring you out now.
You okay?
I told you he'd be fine.
You bastards!
Now, I just saved your life.
Saved my life? You kidnapped me. You strapped me into that thing.
Animus. It's an animus.
I don't even know you people. Why are you doing this to me?
You have information we need, Mr. Miles.
Information? I'm a bartender, for Christ's sakes. What do you want me to do? Teach you how to mix a martini?
We know who you are, what you are.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't play coy with me. There isn't time. You're an assassin. And whether you realize it or not, you've got something that my employers want. Locked away in that head of yours.
But I'm not an assassin. Not anymore.
Yes, your file indicated as much. Something about an escape. Most fortunate for us.
What do you want from me?
For you to do as you're told. The Animus will allow us to locate what we need. Once we have it, you'll be free to go.
I am not going back in there.
Then we'll induce a coma and continue our work. When we're done, you'll be left to die. Truth be told, the only reason you're still conscious is because this approach saves us time.
You're insane.
So what is it, Mr. Miles? Live or die? Lie down.
Yeah, Haley Dudette said it was a risky move putting this real life stuff at the start of the game.
Take care of the rest.
Yeah, that was part of the, like, the daring of it all, I suppose, is, yeah, they didn't show the real life aspects at all until the game launched. It was kind of a Metal Gear Solid 2 situation, where it was marketed in a way that seemed very straightforward, and then the game had this whole other layer to it. I even remember when the game was in previews, there was something very cool. Like, somebody asked about the UI and the, like, visual elements, the strobing of the scan lines and stuff like that. Somebody was like, "What's the deal with all that? If this is like a melee game during the Crusades, why are we seeing all these weird, like, visual overlay effects and stuff like that?" And I think at the time, the director was just like, "Oh no, that's intentional," and that was it. I was like, that's interesting. But they still, like, they didn't say it, but they were just like, "No, that, we know what we're doing." I was like, "Ooh, that's cool." Keeping some surprises. I like that a lot. This game was really cool, I think. I have fond memories of it. I think there was this wild moment in the early part of Gen 7? The Xbox 360 PS3 generation, where, like, production values were getting really huge, but there hadn't been this convergence of game design yet. And I think there was still willingness from big companies to spend a lot of money on something that was artistically daring, especially now when they were, like, establishing brands. This is when every major publisher established their powerhouse brands, and they all stuck around because that was the play. Instead of licensing other brands, now you get to make your own. So we still have, Assassin's Creed to this day. I guess Mass Effect. It's on hiatus. Gears of War is still going. Yeah, it's interesting. Just that there was a fun explosion of new IP, specifically video game IP at the time, because the economics just kind of matched up. It was exactly the right amount of time into the new generation for people to have enough time with these new hardware specs to make the tools to make cool games for them. And again, at the time, since there was very little known about making games at that production value, you got really cool and artistically daring games like this that not only tried to create well, maybe not entirely new kind of game, but certainly a new expression of a certain game type. And then also, on top of that, have all this heady plot stuff with like the double layered plot and living through genetic memories and all that stuff. So a lot going on. And I think it's also very, it's willing to ask a little more of the audience than some games now. And I think because of that, people flaked off. There's the repetition of it, for sure. That's the one thing people always hold against it. The cyclical nature of the side quests. But I don't know, at this point I had already been video game pilled so hard to realize that every game was just the same sort of loop. So it didn't really matter to me if it had a different icon on the minimap. But they swapped all the icons for Assassin's Creed 2 and everyone liked that one so much better. So, anyway, that's my recollections of Assassin's Creed, and I'm really heartened at how Assassin's Creed Mirage looked. Like I watched the trailer. It was just a fun video game trailer. So, what would you recommend, beefier CPU or GPU? If you're gonna game, GPU. Yeah, that's usually the thing that's gonna get your performance. There's some other tasks that are CPU heavy, but yeah, if you're just getting into gaming, spend your money on your video card. Love the mystery behind it. Me too. Thought it set up a mystery really well. I didn't necessarily mind the payoff. Maybe that's also just kind of acknowledging that the payoff is rarely better than the mystery.
Where am I?
You're inside the Animus.
I'd already been stung by Lost,
That renders genetic memories in 3 dimensions.
so I learned my lesson.
Genetic memory.
Seems you'll need a bit of a tutorial. Very well. We'll start simple. What is a memory, Mr. Miles?
It's the recollection of a past event.
Specific to the individual remembering the event.
Yeah, sure.
What if I told you that the human body not only housed an individual's memory, but the memories of his ancestors?
Once they got Kristen Bell.
Genetic memory, if you will. Migration, hibernation, reproduction. How do animals know when and
You like the ending of Lost? Oh, I didn't even get there.
That's just animal
So
instinct.
I gave up.
Now you're arguing semantics, Mr. Miles. Whatever you call it, the fact remains. These creatures hold knowledge absent the requisite first-hand experience. I've spent the past 30 years trying to understand why.
Hey, what's up, Daniel?
I discovered something most fascinating. Our DNA functions as an archive. It contains not only genetic instructions passed down from previous generations, but memories as well. The memories of our ancestors.
This is an interesting amount of exposition to hit the player with off the top of the game.
But there's a problem.
Assassin's Creed's... So this is kind of fascinating to break down. Assassin's Creed's now have extremely cinematic intros.
You lack the
Or it is just like hold the stick forward and you'll like run through things that are exploding. There'll be one scene that tries to establish some amount of ethos, like
stable state.
Why?
a mom will lose her kid, and you run down an exploding hallway, jumping on a boat.
Patients who undergo
People are talking and screaming things.
traumatic events. They can't jump directly into the specific memory. They need to be eased in. Even then, there can be problems.
So how
And then yeah, in this game, they're just dropping the lore brick on you right at the top.
Synchronize with, and we move forward from there. You'll get used to it. This is the closest we can get, so it's where we'll have to start. I'm uploading the tutorial.
I think the game is also sort of wanking off about like explaining or incorporating video game tropes into its own narrative. So explaining tutorials like that. Like we have to localize you to your memory or whatever.
Unstable. Attempting to restore synchronization. Hello, Subject 17.
It does look really good.
Tutorial has been prepared in order to better acclimate you to the Animus's control system. Instructions will follow shortly.
So Zezen is, I guess it was a rumor that they were going to announce a remake of AC1.
Memories. If you ever fall
at the
completely out of sync,
Ubisoft event, but they
Animus will
didn't.
restore you
So,
to your last synchronized position.
which is fine. I think they have enough.
Close to
Like,
desynchronization.
they should finish Sands of Time.
Follow all forthcoming instructions in order to restore system stability.
Oh shucks, like maybe I can pick up more Chivos this time around, huh? 815. It's a pretty clean sweep. Kill every Templar. Gotta find all the flags. Oh, didn't talk to Lucy enough. That's a bummer. I feel like that might have been why. Is because I didn't get that. I was like, well, fuck. Well, I'm not gonna get them all, so who cares? When was the first one? Oh, November 14th, 07. Last, November 30th, 07. That was a good couple of weeks. Damn, I was into it. Alright, I gotta talk to Lucy all the time.
Puppeteering concept to control the actions of your ancestor. I'm loading subroutines to
Look at that font
validate
up
your
there.
body's adaptation.
What a weirdly Y2K font.
You will begin by exploring the default actions of each input.
It's just got the dirty cloud of 70s aesthetic clinging onto it.
Standing still, use the head button to observe your environment.
Zoom into eyeball. You have to... Oh, okay. I was like, you have to hold Y and move the right stick? Are you kidding me?
Use your empty hand to walk through these jar carriers without causing them to drop what they're holding. Proceed to the marker to continue this.
Yeah, this is some
synchronization
fun Matrix shit. I think it's still still shades of the Matrix. Doing all this in like a VR void. It's technologically convenient. I love messing this one up. Oh, hold on. Oh god, that was a lot. That was a lot of pots. Yeah, look at that. Look at that frame rate though, huh? Now we're gaming. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I tried to buy this on PC. Can you blend into people? You sure can. Yeah. That chain reaction is gold. It's fun though, like there were a couple of crowd mechanic games like this and Dead Rising where you really did feel like this just wasn't a game that could work on previous hardware. Like the PS2 or whatever just could not render all these characters and
Well done.
run all this AI. It's still a little wacky, but it's working.
The Animus differentiates
I feel like that was kind of the last time that
action
a technological barrier
and high profile. Low profile actions
was
are
passed
socially acceptable.
in terms of game
High
design.
profile actions are more action.
Oh, Days Gone? I should play Days Gone.
Hold the high.
Days Gone has some crazy crowds.
See how your heads-up display changes the context of the puppeteering inputs. Excellent.
And like your life bar is filling up as you're finishing these tutorials.
Continue your synchronization process by testing some high-profile actions.
I think that was part of like the newness of Generation 7.
Onto the marker by using the empty hand button in high
It
profile.
was like reinterpreting video game tropes in a new way.
Good. Using your legs button in high profile will allow you to sprint. Sprinting is useful to
Legs
escape from
button.
soldiers or to get closer to a fleeing target. However, be careful not to bump into anyone, for you can lose your balance and tumble to the ground. While sprinting, reach the marker before this man does.
I was 13 when this game came out and I couldn't give a crap about it. Now that I'm watching this opening again, I'm being really bored of it, but I'm pretty pumped to watch now.
Other important information.
Yeah, it kind of makes
The
sense.
social
This is not an intro that would appeal to
status.
someone who isn't.
Different.
This intro presumes buy-in on behalf of the player, which, you know, if they did their marketing campaign right and you paid your $60, then yeah, you're probably kind of sold on the game and willing to like get through a tutorial, but Assassin's Creed games stop doing that. Like the controller's in your hand and you're already into like interactive cutscenes and like moving the stick forward to do stuff and hitting buttons and then boom, you're in combat. And it's just mash buttons and you're stabbing people in the neck and screaming and yeah. This does eventually go off. I remember the intro where you're kind of introduced to Altair and his character is really interesting and I think also daring because they have you fuck up like in a real big way. So it's interesting again that a game would point the finger at you, the player, and be like, you fucked up. That was an interesting choice. I think by then though, anyone who's going to get shook off has already been shook off. Assassin's Creed 2 was the dumbest intro. Press X to punch as a baby newborn. Yeah, it was pretty pretentious, but I loved that about it. I loved how ostentatious the intros were getting. It was just like, it was like they were trying to one-up themselves with bombast. I mean, Assassin's Creed 3, I don't think it ever got more ridiculous than that. Where the entire playable prologue ended up with like a what? And then a late title card. Like an entirely, and all of that was in this entirely different area. And then like you start to go to some of the other areas that you'll go to, but you heard yourself be birthed. Yeah. That's what I miss. I miss that Ubisoft where the tutorial is you being born. Oh man. Oh man, the day where that was written on the dry erase board and everyone was like, yeah. Valhalla probably has like the most ridiculous blockbuster intro. It's almost like a summer movie, the intro of Valhalla. Just play through the intro of Valhalla and then you're done. I feel like I got my money's worth as soon as like the prologue was done and then the boat was just like, just go raid some villages. I was like, you know what? I'm good. It's probably not going to get better than that. Anyway.
States will be explained in context soon. This icon appears when a soldier is looking at you. The yellow color means the soldier is either unaware or suspicious of who you are. To illustrate the change in awareness level, you will stealth assassinate this soldier. First, lock onto your target. Now, select your hidden blade.
Where's that UI?
With your blade selected, walk up to the soldier and assassinate him by using your armed hand button.
Just walk away cool like.
Who did this? Show yourself!
The dead body has alerted the soldier and changed his awareness to informed, as represented by the red witness indicator. Aggressive actions or socially unacceptable behavior undertaken at this time will likely provoke an armed response. Provoke this soldier.
Provoke? I originally watched someone else play this when I was younger and was mesmerized by the then complexity of the control and movement, but I had to spend my months of allowance on it to play it for myself. Did it live up?
Notice how the social status icon has changed to exposed. Use the ladder and try to break the line of sight.
Ow! Ah! You think you can outrun me? You think I'm...
Excellent. The line of sight has been broken. Now run into the roof garden to hide from the soldier.
Yeah, it's interesting. This game does like literal tutorials and then it has an intro like prologue sequence. They really just mashed those two together in future games, which is pretty brilliant. Like you get your intro narrative and then also they teach you how to hit the buttons.
Good. Your social status indicates that you are hidden, but the soldier is still looking for you. Wait until your social status changes again.
That's right. You do.
Contextual button presses were something Assassin's Creed thankfully innovated with, and now most games do it.
Well done.
Yeah, it's really useful.
You are
I think Resident Evil 4 is usually credited with the first game that
excellent.
had like an action button that did different stuff based on where it was or what you were doing.
Being anonymous will fill your synchronization bar.
But yeah, this had like a whole, essentially it's a shift button. They even kind of call it that,
There are different places
where your face buttons do entire templates of other things that they try to associate loosely with your body parts, which is smart. Trying to give people a mnemonic for like more button inputs. It is definitely when games were comfortable to get a little more complicated. A little more inputs, a little more stuff going on.
Let us continue with a demonstration of Blend. Blend can be activated with the passive use of your legs. You can mimic a scholar and pass near soldiers without arousing suspicion. Use this to reach the marker behind the soldiers.
What was I doing in 07? I was working a job as a software developer, which is good. It meant I could buy all these games. That was like... There's some windows in my life that I have to admit have timed out well. And I like started getting a full paying job. Basically when the 7th generation of stuff hit, so that's when like the pace of releases started really picking up, and
A new ability.
just a lot of really good games.
Referred to as Eagle Vision, this sixth sense.
But despite that, I mean, games like this were a great solace for me because also at that time I was very lonely. I just graduated college and I had like an apartment to myself. So just spent a lot of time, a lot of nights just alone. Just kind of being alone and being sad. So yeah, games were very, again, very fortunately timed because I was able to buy a lot of games and I relied on them for artistic vibrance. You look back on your SWE or software engineering days with fondness? A little bit. I like the work.
Ancestor understand the intentions of people around him.
But this is way better. Oh, post-college was a ton of solo Destiny 1. Was not my best here. Yeah, when you fall fully into a game like that.
Remember, Eagle Vision will only be available once
Or,
you are fully synced.
like I was just saying, maybe rely
Note that
over
following the assassin's
rely on it more than you'd like to
master's way of life will assist you with staying in sync.
for emotional happiness.
Creed consists of 3 tenets.
What was your degree and when did you join Rooster Teeth?
Never hurt an innocent person.
Computer science.
Second,
And I was hired at Rooster Teeth in early 2015.
not compromise the clan. Should you lose sync, you can restore synchronization by
Worked from
reliving
them,
moments
worked for them until late 2019.
or by respecting the creed.
So it's almost been,
You have successfully
well, still got some time to go, but
the
I did like that you could always do this.
will not be
Shink.
loaded.
It's like walking down the street. Flipping a switchblade looking cool.
Wait! There must be another way.
Yeah.
This one
Here we go.
died.
An excellent kill. Fortune favors your blade.
Not fortune, skill. Watch a while longer and you might learn something.
Indeed. He'll teach you how to disregard everything the Masters taught us.
And how would you have done it?
I would not have drawn attention.
Forgot about that.
I would not have taken the life of an innocent. What I would have done is follow the creed.
Nothing is true. Everything is permitted. Understand these words. It matters not how we complete our task, only that it's done.
But this is not the way
My way is better.
I will scout ahead.
I guess they're just flexing that it's in engine, so now the camera can go wherever it wants.
What is our mission? My brother would say nothing to me. Only that I should be honored to have been invited.
The Master believes the Templars have found something beneath the Temple Mount.
Treasure?
I do not know. All that matters is the Master considers it important. Else he would not have asked me to retrieve it.
He would not have asked me to retrieve it. Yeah, I forgot about Midwest Altair. That's interesting. I guess even at the time, I mean, making a game about a Muslim during the Crusades is pretty rad. But even then, they just couldn't stomach having an appropriate accent for the protagonist. Wait, no, this is Jokerized Altair. He's gonna do it loud. Altair's got to get busted down a peg or two. Excuse me.
Ark of the Covenant?
Don't
Oh.
be silly. There's no such thing. It's just a story.
Then what is it?
Quiet! Someone's coming.
I want us through this gate before sun.
Oh, the in-game explanation is that it uses modern character's voice when he's in the Animus.
To those jackals at Masyaf.
Robert de Sable. His life is mine.
No. We were asked to retrieve the treasure and deal
Very
with it
well.
only if necessary.
I'm gonna guess that's a lore loop around for marketing purposes, but whatever.
Discretion, Altair.
You mean cowardice. That man is our greatest enemy, and here we have a chance to be rid of him.
You have already broken 2 tenets of our creed. Now you would break the 3rd. Do not compromise the Brotherhood.
I am your superior, in both title and ability. You should know better than to question me.
Like, I thought it was pretty cool that they make you play a cock. Like, Altair's kind of a dickwad at the beginning, and it really does cost him. But, I thought it was cool, too, that they tie it to, like, not being stealthy. They tie it to being brash, to running in, to fighting headlong, and it's like, that's not what you're supposed to do in this game. You're supposed to be stealthy, you're supposed to move with intent, you're supposed to sit back and observe. So it's like, okay, they're reinforcing how they want you to play by having you do it wrong, and then basically spraying you with a water bottle.
Old Templars, you are not the only ones with business here.
Well, this explains my missing man. And what is it you want?
Blood.
Slapped.
You know not the things in which you meddle, assassin. Spare you only that you may return to your master and deliver a message. The Holy Land is lost to him and his. He should flee now while he has the chance. Stay, and all of you will die. Men, to arms! Kill the assassins!
Oh, that's not good. Oops. Getting all my assassin bros murdered. That was not a good assassin. Yeah, Ubisoft had a couple of games there narratively that were starting to get kind of interesting. I still think that Watch Dogs 1 was fascinating in its usage of a kind of a cock protagonist. Anything new on Beyond Good and Evil? Not really, I don't think.
Part of memory to a more recent.
Ubisoft, I guess, insists that they're still working on it. I think last it was like somebody leaked that it was at least 3 years away, which means it's not actually in production. It's still in pre-production.
Altair, you've returned.
Raouf.
It is good to see you unharmed. I trust your mission was a success.
Is the master in his tower?
Yes, buried in his books as always. No doubt he expects you.
My thanks, brother.
Safety and peace, Altair.
On you as well.
You think your CS degree helped with your career? A little bit. There were times when I would be talking about games with people that, like, I can't fault them for it, but either they didn't know how computers worked or just didn't play enough games to know that, like certain things are just not possible with computers. Computers are finite state machines, and that influences how video games run and what video games can do. So, I don't know. Sometimes in other forms of like games media, it has been helpful to know how consoles work and how video games run, because I think that steers you away from like making weird assumptions or suggestions about how game development ought to happen, or what could lead to problems, or how problems could be fixed. I think it's also possible that having a coding mindset can also help you dismantle game mechanics. How's the story in Black Flag, Odyssey, and the Viking one? I haven't played AC since AC2. Oh, you missed Origins. Pretty bad. actually. Unity was the last one that felt like it had any kind of coherent and complete story. And even the completeness of it is still not, it's not super complete. Origin's story just kind of stops. And there's not much of one there anyway. Same with Odyssey. I haven't played Valhalla very much. The problem is sort of that with those games is that since they're really open world, there's story missions, and since you play those like 10 hours apart, there's just not really much there. There's not much time dedicated to story anymore. Unlike this game, which has tons of cutscenes. So, I just think that they've just shaved down the runtime of the actual story parts of things. So yeah, it just really has. I don't know about Valhalla. Valhalla might have more, but man, Odyssey sucked. Fuck, man. You had to just grind open world stuff to maybe get a story quest or story progression to unlock, but really it was just like going around and killing a bunch of NPCs with difficulty mods thrown on them. That's it. I forgot the one with the twins in England. Syndicate? Syndicate wasn't very good, story-wise. It was a fun game, but it was just kind of like a weird window. I mean, most Assassin's Creeds are just a window, but it like just ends. I guess most Assassin's Creeds do that because like you find the thing you're looking for in the meta plot, but I don't even remember what that was all about in Syndicate. Were you like so in 4 you were like a beta tester, and then you were that other lady for a couple of games, and they were like doing their own experiments on the side with like bootlegged Animus hardware. And I don't even remember what they were looking for. Yeah. How do you feel about the fact that after the release of Neo, Sekiro, and Ghost of Tsushima, Ubisoft are finally deciding to do what everyone wanted 10 years ago and set an Assassin's Creed game in Japan as a ninja? I mean,
Abbas.
I don't know that those games influenced Ubisoft.
Hoping to be the first one back. I know you are loath to share the glory. Silence is just another form.
I'm glad they're doing it.
Have you nothing better to do?
I guess.
I bring word from the master. He waits for you in the library.
The thing is, if those games are the same format as...
No doubt you're eager to put your tongue to his boot.
They're the same format as like Valhalla. I don't care. Like, I don't want to play it. Even if it is an open world ninja game. Maybe that could be cool, but that's kind of what they are already. So, I would really prefer an experience more like this, to be honest. Like, more time for story, more time for character, more dialogue, more cutscenes, slower missions, fewer missions. There's too much meaningless stuff. I mean, it's a really good time killer. It's like Destiny, you know? It's a game you can play forever if you like jumping off things and stabbing people. Yeah, Borg, they did say that they're not going to make every game be a 150-hour game anymore. Which is good, because good God, there's like maybe 20 valuable hours in that 150. Same with Far Cry. Like, good Lord. There's no more levels anymore. Ubisoft doesn't make levels. They just make maps.
Altair,
Master.
come forward. Tell me of your mission. I trust you have recovered the Templar's treasure.
There was some trouble, Master. Robert de Sable was not alone.
When does our work ever go as expected? It's
You get to walk around in this box.
that makes us who we are.
This time it was not enough.
What do you mean?
I have failed you.
The treasure?
Lost to us.
And Robert?
Escaped.
I send you, my best man, to complete a mission more important than any that has come before. And you return to me with nothing but apologies and excuses.
I did.
Do not speak! Not another word! This is not what I expected. We'll need to mount another force.
I swear to you I'll find him. I'll go in.
No!
You do so much walking around.
You've done enough. Where are Melik and Kadar?
Dead.
No! Not dead.
Melik?
I still live at least.
And your brother?
Gone. Because of you!
Robert threw me from the room. There was no way back. Nothing I could do.
Because you would not heed my warning! All of this could have been avoided! And my brother would still be alive! Your arrogance nearly cost us victory today.
Nearly?
I've what your favorite failed to find. Here, take it. Though it seems I've returned with more than just their treasure.
Master, we are under attack. Robert de Sable lays siege to Masyaf's village.
So he seeks a battle. Very well. I'll not deny him. Go. Inform the others. The fortress must be prepared. As for you, Altair, our discussion will have to wait. You must make for the village. Destroy these invaders. Drive them from our home.
It will be done.
Fast-forwarding memory to a more recent one.
Oh yeah, Rayman. Why did they just stop at Legends? I mean, Ubisoft didn't make anything with a soul for a very long time there. They might be doing that now, but yeah, it was just like all numbers. It was all games of service.
Templars. They attacked the village. Most of our people were able to get away.
The only thing they could get out were just like early access
What do you need me to do?
games of service prototypes kind of thing.
Keep them occupied while I rescue those still trapped inside.
As you wish.
Ubisoft is maybe, we don't know yet, but they seem to be exiting a window kind of like EA was stuck in for a long time, where they just have these outrageous expectations for games and are focused purely on margin. So they're just like chasing the cheapest to make and most money earning games. Like EA tasted the FIFA money and then they just wanted everything to be FIFA. So they stopped making single player, they just didn't want anything to do with it. And I feel like that's been Ubisoft for the last 10 years. Gosh. They've just been making what works and iterating on what works. And what works is money. Like your sword. Big short-term gain, no foresight. Yeah, it's just a lot of cashing out on IP. Like they spent a long time investing in IP. That's what this is. This is building something up, and like using artistic vision to do it. And then it's just like, okay, now we'll sprinkle some artistic vision on it, and then just make the version of the thing that really gets money out of people. Yeah, this is Prince of Persia combat. I don't know. I just felt like this game was basically Prince of Persia. Right down to like the platforming being a little like slow and like mocapped. Man, that was a sick counter too. There we go. Yeah, there it is. That's the only ability we need. And we're done. The guy who pitched For Honor had to repitch it like 7 times. Yeah, and that's even packaged like a games of service game. That shouldn't have been so hard. And I think probably truthfully at most companies, you probably have to pitch something multiple times unless you have like pedigree or connections, but yeah, I don't know. Ubisoft has just been real risk averse. I guess they also did greenlight Mario vs. Rabbids. I don't remember the full name of that game. Ooh. Mario plus Rabbids. Big Mushroom Mangler. What makes you think Ubi is changing? They announced more single-player games. And single-player games that are not at like a production spec that maybe need to require maximum monetization to make their money back. Like just by like greenlighting those games, that tells me that somebody else is like deciding how to spend money. Or they finally set aside money for projects that aren't expected to return just infinite dollars. So like somebody else had mentioned their UB Arts program that did like this War of Mine and Child of Light and some other really good games. Like they just completely stopped working on incubators like that. They just dropped it. So that sucks. When's the last time they made anything that's like a new property? Wait, they did Roller Champions, right? They just put out Rocksmith. So, or they just released a new version of Rocksmith for PC. They did Steep. They did Crew 2. But Crew 2 was like servicey. I can't really blame them for trying to go servicey with Crew 2. Oh shit, that's a lot of mans.
Fast forwarding memory to a more recent one.
I heard that Mirage was going to be a DLC and slowly became its own game. Makes me feel that it's more of a happy accident. Curious to see if they continue to do small single-player experiences besides Mirage. Yeah, I am too. So if they release Mirage and it like makes money, breaks even, it like if it go, you know what? Okay, like if it does that, and Ubisoft is like, okay, let's make more of them, then that would be like that's a different Ubisoft. I think current Ubisoft would think, why did we have these like 50 people work on this stupid game when they could have been making like BS, like they could have been making BS quests in the next Assassin's Creed. Okay, my Captain, thank you for redeeming that. Let's see if you get a VIP or a ban. Let's see. What do you think's gonna happen? What do you think? Ooh. Got banned last time? Well, at least you're used to it. That sucks. Second redemption, another ban. Captain, I'm very sorry about this. Just like in the movie, okay, my Captain. You banned. You're taking it like a champ, and I appreciate that. But you're big time banned. You're banned. Thank you for watching the stream. It's always nice having you around. So it's really a punishment for me that I have to spend the next hour without your contributions in chat. I think we're all hurting right now. We're all feeling this loss. Not just me. How long is the ban? 1 hour. Or a year. Could be 1 hour or a year. Maybe... No, I can't make it longer.
Al-Mu'alim's not done with us yet.
Where are we going?
Up there. We've a surprise planned for our guests. Just do as I do.
Ooh, we got another one. South American Tanuki has redeemed a VIP or ban. Which one's this one gonna be? It can't be 2 bans in a row, right? It just can't be. What? What? This is absurd. I mean, despite the fact that it is technically the most probable outcome. This is just absolutely... Oh, we get to do it! The very first leap of faith. Well, we've had 2 noble chat members take a very big leap of faith just now. And they both... There was no hay under them. None at all. Splattered into the ground. Kind of grossed everyone out. People started chain vomiting. Bad situation all around. But South American Tanuki, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for saving up all those points. But you are banned. You're banned from chat. Banned. It hurts. I have a tummy ache now. I'm so stressed that my tummy hurts. But I will continue. So soldier on. Honestly, I don't know how much longer I'm going to stream at this point. But I will continue because I'm a brave soldier. I got to do this leap of faith. Could be gas. Wasn't this an achievement? I swear doing this was an achievement, which is some like... That's some big style shit. Doing your first leap of faith and you get an achievement for it. No, come on. It's just the Animus tutorial? Give me a break. Give me a break. There's not an achievement for doing the leap of faith? Ubisoft, what the... I just got done going off about how good old Ubisoft is, and they're gonna fuck it up like that. All right, well, achievement artistry had yet to advance to that point yet.
Heretic! Return what you have stolen from me!
You've no claim to it, Robert. Take yourself from here before I'm forced to thin your ranks further.
You play a dangerous game!
I assure you, this is no game.
So be it! Bring forth the hostage!
Oh, they don't let you jump off?
Your village lays in ruins, and your stores are hardly endless. How long before your
They always give you these boxes to prowl around in during cutscenes.
your men remain?
A little Half-Life-y.
On dry, and their food is gone.
My men do not fear death, Robert. They welcome it, and the rewards it brings.
Good. Then they shall have it all around.
Follow me, and do so without hesitation.
Show this fool knight what it is to have no fear. Go to God!
Oh, video games are art.
Oh, my leg! Ah! Oh, my leg!
Quiet, or the Templars will hear us.
Bloop. Bloop. Bloop.
I'll stay behind him, Tent.
Bloop.
You'll have to go ahead without us. The ropes there will bring you to a trap we've set. Go and release it. Rain death upon our enemies.
All right. All right. It's time to be stealthy. Move stick to walk on beams. You got it. Beams. Go towards those beams. This reminds me, oh dude, I gotta play the Prince of Persia reboot. Oh, that game is dope as hell. Another prime example of like Ubisoft in the new generation making some really bold artistic bets that I guess just didn't make money. The movie tie-in one or 2008 one? 2008. Big time. No, Forgotten Sands was the movie tie-in one, which was weird because it was a sequel to Sands of Time. That one was okay. It's weird the way that Ubisoft has tried to cash in on like Sands of Time being really good, and they don't seem to be able to do it ever. Whether they're making like another game kind of like it, or they're trying to remake it, they can't seem to do that either. Two Princes was so bad. You mean Two Thrones? You didn't like it? I like Two Thrones quite a bit. Warrior Within was the first glimpse of what Ubisoft has become, which is to say pandering. I mean, I can't blame them for wanting to make money. But Jesus, Warrior Within was just like up and down, like let's just make this appeal to horny boys. That's it. Which sucked, because Sands of Time was so much more than that. Warrior Within, philosophically, was almost like the opposite of Sands of Time. I was that horny boy. Yeah, if you were a horny boy, I guess it works out for you.
From here. His force is
Oh man. You made me think about it though. If they did another Prince of Persia and did like a Warrior Within, that would be dope. If like Jake Gyllenhaal has eyeshadow and there's a lot of new metal and it's just him being extreme.
Worried that you'd listened in Solomon's temple, Altair.
Being damaged and extreme.
All of this would have been avoided.
I did as I was asked.
No, you did as you pleased. Malik has told me of the arrogance you displayed, your disregard for our ways.
What are you doing?
There are rules. We are nothing if we do not abide by the Assassin's creed. 3 simple tenets, which you seem to forget. I will remind you. First and foremost, Stay your blade.
From the flesh of an innocent. I know.
And stay your tongue, unless I give you leave to use it.
Getting a limp backhand.
Familiar with this tenant.
That's good Foley on that.
Kill the old man inside the temple. He was innocent. He did not need to die. Your insolence knows no bounds. Make humble your heart, child, or I swear I'll tear it from you with my own hands. The second tenet is that which gives us strength. Hide in plain sight. Let the people mask you such that you...
Yeah, Loof. The Metroid moment.
Do you remember?
They strip you of all your goodies.
You chose to expose yourself, drawing attention before you'd struck. The third and final tenet. The worst of all your betrayals. Never compromise the Brotherhood. Its meaning should be obvious. Your actions must never bring harm upon us, direct or indirect. Yet your selfish act beneath Jerusalem...
Intro is very long.
All in danger.
Yeah, I mean, they're flexing the performances. They're flexing the motion capture, the performance capture,
Because of you.
the lip sync, the fact that the camera can jump around. It's in-engine, bro.
Truly I am.
This stuff all used to be pre-rendered on like PS2 last gen, so...
I am not a traitor.
Its form matches a lot of the freedoms that they were able to do with game production.
Peace be upon you.
And they're showing off their elevated production values. If you want 100% this part, you have to start from the beginning. Wait, how so? What did I miss? The only things that I
A far better adoption rate than the other subjects.
I didn't talk to Lucy enough
Been in there
to get
too long.
No, not yet.
that achievement. I feel like that's the only missable one that I don't have.
Shouldn't risk it.
What's another hour or two?
Why don't we discuss this in the conference room? Give Desmond a minute to stretch his legs.
I really
You
don't.
have to release the logs in a time limit?
Fine.
Does this let you replay levels to like do the 100% sync stuff? I got all the achievements. That's all that matters. Well, I have to get all the flags. It's flags and then talking to Lucy. Now you get to walk around and explore? I also really, really like games that have intentional downtime. I'm okay with that. A lot of people aren't. A lot of people get bored. I get that. And it is sort of poison. It's retention poison. So I get why games don't do it. But I think it's important for the experience. Red Dead 2 had tons of downtime. People didn't like that so much. But it kind of forces you to catch its rhythm, which I appreciate. Come on. Tippity tap on this laptop. Oh, Yakuza's like that? Yeah. Yakuza has entire quests that involve you just walking around or talking to people. Yeah, I'm super into that. It's like games can be paced so... Like, it's not hard to mix up the pacing of a game, but most games stay pretty tightly to a particular short and long-term loop. I guess because it's predictable. Predictable and it's satisfying. I remember wondering what kind of sweet lore I would get if I could actually, like, hear and understand what they were saying. Vagina table? I think it is. Wouldn't surprise me if that was, let's see. Yep, it's pretty labial. All right. Pretty vulvish. I could definitely see it being like, it's like going into the womb or whatever. Also, I still think at this time in games, there was still a lot of like subconscious shit to target young male gamers. And that might be part of it. I also think, though, that it does a good job of being just a vastly different shape than anything else in the room. This room is all straight lines, and this is like the only sort of curved, elegant thing. So, and it's got like octopus tentacle thingies for your spine. So I think they make it look like that to make it look creepy and weird. It certainly stands out.
We're done for today, Mr. Miles. I suggest you return to your room and get some rest.
It's definitely not as suggestive as like The Doors in Prey. 2006 Prey. I think that's the next boomer shooter I gotta play through. I'm gonna get all this Lucy dialogue.
So
That's
you're
it.
really an assassin? Like Altair?
Yes and no.
Film grain turns off if you look in first
I was
person.
supposed to be one, but I
Which like is cool because it actually acknowledges that film grain is an effect that would only happen if you're looking through a camera, or really if you're watching film.
ran away from the farm.
DJ Khaled won't go down on that table.
Yeah, that's what they call the place where I grew up. The farm. Like Messiah, I guess. Only not so, creepy. Just a small community in
That's a good one.
nowhere. About 30 of us living, you know, off the grid.
Why?
Thought my parents were just crazy hippies trying to stick it to the man, you know? My dad was always going on about our enemies, how they'd be looking for us, how we'd have to be prepared. No one ever came. Nothing ever happened.
Why'd you run away?
I could never leave the compound. You have any idea what it feels like being trapped in a place, knowing there was a whole world out there I'd never get to see?
I actually did not know that they seeded that compound stuff in AC1. It felt like that kind of came out of nowhere in Revelations. That's interesting.
Don't you miss your parents?
No. As far as I'm concerned, they weren't my parents. They were my wardens, and I was their prisoner.
It sounds like they only wanted to protect you.
With all that's happened, I don't know. I guess they were right.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to dredge up the past.
It's alright. Gives me something to think about.
Try and get some sleep. We've got a long day ahead of us tomorrow.
Face mocap kind of rough looking. I mean, yeah, this game was probably spec'd out to run at 720p. And I think some of the fuzziness of the mocap, not only one, shows how much better performance capture has gotten. Like, you know, LA Noire has some fuzz to its capture. But yeah, I love, it is kind of like watching broadcast TV in 4K. Suddenly you can see like smudges on makeup and things like that. So it's pretty cool what happens when you go back and like up-res a game whose assets weren't meant to be seen at or weren't even conceived to be seen at a particular resolution. So I love that stuff. I love looking at the past with like you usually look at the past with diminished resolution. It's interesting to go back and see it even clearer. Watching Terminator 2 in 4K, you see all the rear projection shots. That would be interesting. See, I like seeing hybrid films in ultra high res for that exact reason. This is why I keep going back to Batman Forever, because it is such a relentlessly practical movie while also being very ridiculously colorful. So, and then, you know, the CG shots are just disgusting. Yeah, looking at the past with glasses. It's awesome.
Got a question for you before I turn in.
Sure.
How did they find me? I mean, I haven't been anywhere near another assassin for 10 years.
Use your real name?
Nope. Not before today.
Credit cards?
Cash only.
Telephone?
There's no one to call.
Driver's license?
Motorcycle. Guilty pleasure.
There's your answer. Photo, fingerprint.
This is a drug company. What does Abstergo have to do with the DMV?
Desmond, these guys are everywhere. I'm sorry, I really can't talk about it.
Oh, edited Arnie performing alongside the stuntman actually doing the stunt? Interesting. Bartender who drives a motorcycle? Desmond Miles is the coolest guy in video games. It is interesting because he is kind of like blank protagonist, but he does kind of have more of a story.
Aren't you tired?
It's just a story that kind of makes him a video game protagonist.
Can't talk. Gotta work.
Oh, I remember I remember getting all the dialogue until she would say stuff like that, but the achievement still didn't go. So I wonder if there's some secret interaction you have to do to unlock bonus Lucy dialogue.
Aren't you tired?
I felt Desmond was the most interesting in AC1. It's when you know it's when you learn the most about him. Yeah, his role gets rolled back. I think there's a bit of there's a more of him in Revelations than 3. I think, but 3 is like, I don't know. You play as him more in 3, but that doesn't mean you learn more about him.
Damn it, they locked the door.
Damn it. Yeah, Dirty Ewok, I agree. The mystery was better than the payoff, but
Man, I
you know,
can't even change
it's
my
usually the
clothes.
case. Yeah, it gets a huge lore dump in Revelations, right? When you're like in that weird hacked Animus space. That was pretty cool. It was at least more storytelling. I kind of liked that aspect of it, and it got a little light. I'm just poking around. All right. I feel like I would definitely feel more calm and secure after being kidnapped if I did have a really like ultra modern looking apartment with a nice big bed.
Gotta say, that's a little creepy, Doc. Waking up to you standing over me. You been watching me sleep?
We're always watching you. Now get up. We've got a lot of work to do.
Ooh, wonder who I get to kill today.
Don't be so cavalier. Your ancestors almost had the right idea, Mr. Miles. If the deaths of a few people, evil people, no less, could save the lives of thousands more, well, it seems a small sacrifice.
What do you mean, almost?
They didn't go far enough. To use a rather tired analogy, corruption is no different than cancer. Cut out the tumors, but fail to treat the source and, well, you're buying time at best. There's no true change.
This is a really good...
without comprehensive, systemic...
Sorry, Doc, I have to interrupt. This is a really good example of ambient occlusion. Ambient occlusion. So, the game, when the intersection of the wall...
For the mess.
Sorry.
Education. Re-education. Precise.
I don't know what...
But it's not easy.
I accidentally cleared my throat so hard that I muted the mic.
Yes. You...
Apologies. I have no idea why that crap was in my throat. All right. Yeah, if you look at the right side, so if I'm looking at it, there's like a shadow on the wall near where the cabinet meets it. But if you scroll that intersection off the screen, it doesn't draw that shadow anymore because it doesn't know that there's an intersection there because it would have to like think outside the boundaries of what you're seeing. And most efficient engines will cull or just not draw things that are outside the corner of the screen. So ambient occlusion is just a fake shadow that's drawn where two surfaces intersect. It's just a really fast and dirty way of making a scene look like it's more naturally lit. But if you scroll it off, boosh, it's gone. So yeah, that's ambient occlusion if you've ever wondered what that setting does in your graphics. It just puts dirty little shadows in the corners of everything. RTX lighting makes it really ambient occlusion look goofy. Yeah, it's very obviously just like a stripe. It's like somebody opened it in Photoshop and just went blurp, and that's it. I mean, it's closer to looking real. It doesn't look as flat and video gamey, but
Sit down on the Animus.
yeah, RTX is way better. Whoa. Talk to her. Probably less resource intensive too. Oh, then actually. So, like, we know the math. We know how to fake lighting, but have it be physically real. It just takes way too long to do for a video game. That's what pre-rendered is. That's why Pixar movies can look so good. Is because you can have a whole farm working on one frame, calculating light, bouncing everywhere, bouncing off this surface, changing color, bouncing off that surface, losing half of its intensity, bouncing off this surface, changing its hue, all that sort of stuff. Prisms, refraction. You can do all that math to decide what color all the pixels should be to create a more photorealistic image when you don't have to have them rendering in real time. But in real time, yeah, you got to fake it. So instead of like running all the math to determine exactly how many light rays get stuck in a corner and just sort of fizzle without hitting the camera, you just paint it. Bleep. That's all you got to do. Instead of figuring out exactly how much or what color of light gets stuck up there, you just figure out where two surfaces intersect and just paintbrush it. I mean, shadows are like that in a lot of older games. It's just a disc under your character. They can't actually calculate light sources interacting with your model changing and animating. So they just put a little circle under you. All they got to do is figure out where you're standing.
Whenever you're ready.
Use free running to escape from a fight when exposed.
I am alive. But I saw you stab me. Felt death's embrace.
You saw what I wanted you to see, and then you slept the sleep of the dead, of the womb, that you might awake and be reborn.
To what end?
Do you remember, Altair, what it is the assassin fight for?
These games try to be so epic, it's impossible to not try to take the piss out of them.
In all things.
Whenever you have any kind of interactivity.
To end the violence one man commits upon another, it refers to peace within as well. You cannot have one without the other.
So it is said.
So it is! But you, my son, have not found inner peace. It manifests in ugly ways.
Oh.
You are arrogant.
You can hit left trigger to just change the angle whenever you want?
Say that nothing is true and everything is permitted.
I think I figured this out like right at the end of the game. Any button will do it.
It does not grant you the freedom to do as you
You can
wish.
kind of be a director a little bit. Marvelous Loco, thank you for the sub.
Expects a wisdom you clearly lack.
Then what is to become of me?
I should kill you for the pain you've brought upon us. Malik thinks it only fair.
Yeah, so Altair actually doesn't have a shadow right now.
His brothers.
So if you look at where his feet touch the ground, it looks like he's not really there because there's no shadow.
Stripped of your possessions.
That's what wall corners look like when there's no ambient occlusion.
Novice. A child once more, as you were on the day you first joined our order. I am offering you a chance at redemption. You'll earn your way back into the Brotherhood.
I assume you've something planned.
First, you must prove to me you remember how to be an assassin.
So you'd have me take a life?
No, not yet.
That's playing Dreamlight Valley, and I just heard Goofy go, wow! Across the house.
Others tracked your targets for you, but no more.
Oh yeah, Verbose. There were some DVDs that had different angles.
If this is what you wish,
It is.
then tell me what it is that I must do.
We have been betrayed. Someone was assisting Robert de Sable, one of our own. You must find him and bring him here for questioning.
What can you tell me of the traitor?
Ah, but that's just it. I've given you all I will. The rest is up to you.
Oh, look at my teeny tiny life bar. They're gonna tell me my morph ball's gone. I can't counter? You kidding me? How am I gonna play the game without counter? Can't grab ledge. Fingers fingers deactivated. Hopefully I can still hop. How smart is it to have like only one block of fall damage if you just run straight out? Like it could do no fall damage, which would be bad because then players would think there is no fall damage, and then they jump off something even higher. But it's just one. You get it back.
Safety and peace, Altair.
It's a friendly little like, no, watch it. Careful now.
I assist you. Remind you how it is we hunt our prey.
I know how it works.
Be that as it may, I have no desire to disobey.
Then be quick.
The Assassin have many tools at their disposal.
Yes, yes. We can eavesdrop, we can pickpocket, or we can use violence to intimidate.
Good, you remember.
So you'd have me walk amongst the others and learn what I can about the traitor?
Yes. Begin by going to the village market. That's where we first spotted the traitor.
You know who it is?
Perhaps.
Then give me a name and let's be done with it.
That's not the way it works. Now go. And remember, begin your search in the village market.
Pretty hard to die in these first AC games. Yeah, I don't remember them being hard. Only if you really do get swamped and you just don't run away. And also you're bad at countering.
What is that fool doing?
Ooh.
Did you see
Drop?
that?
There we go.
Someone tell me why he's doing that.
Forgot about all that. Oh! Love all the little random barks from people as you're climbing around. Am I going to play other ACs or just this one for now? I mean, just this one for now. I don't even know how long I'm going to be playing it, but just looking at Mirage got me nostalgic. I'd always wanted to replay 1. I held it in very high esteem. I think next to Unity, probably my favorite, and Unity edges it out just because it's so gorgeous, or at least it used to be. Who knows what it looks like now. It'd be interesting to see Unity on a PC these days. Oh, just staring directly at me. Just praying. Idiots. Okay. I use my eagle eyes to find a little bench. On a nearby. Where the hell?
Such a strange man.
Yeah, Unity got dunked on pretty hard. Justifiably. Hard to defend that. I feel like Unity was one of the first like meme cash-ins. Like it was a feeding frenzy. Everybody was dunking as hard as they could. Everybody was pointing and laughing. I don't know, it's hard to feel too bad about it because it's a video game. But oh, there's the bench. Jesus. Up.
I know what I saw. Musun opened the gate. He let the Templars in.
Then you must tell Al-Mualim.
I can't. Masun did not act alone. Someone inside the fortress helped him.
What makes you say this?
He exchanges letters with someone inside. The basket weaver carries them for him.
That's no reason to stay silent.
Ah, but the weaver delivered him a letter just before the attack. I suspect it held the order to open the gate.
Then speak to the weaver. He can name Masun's accomplice.
He's disappeared, hiding for fear of being dragged into this.
Probably inside one of his own baskets.
I do like that even though they live in a village with a assassin compound, they're still loudly talking about these details in an open market. There's just something adorably dumb about everyone else in a stealth game. It's almost got the same charm as like an Oblivion NPC. It's like a little 5 IQ little guy that's just going around doing their own little things. You would think that his sudden modern accent would sound extremely unusual to everyone he speaks with in the Animus. Quite a few holes in the accent explanation. I mean, yeah, I'm not scratching at it too hard. It seems fairly obvious.
Please, just one. We lost everything in the attack and have no place to store our grain.
I can't right now. I'm busy.
Is this about the letter?
What letter?
The letter you received when I got here. Bad news?
I don't know what you're talking about. Listen, I'll see what I can do, but please, I need to be alone right now. Come back later.
As you wish.
Look at that fat pouch on this dude's hip. Yeah, stalking mode.
I'd leave if I were you, before I really get angry.
This is like dogfight mode. And Ace Combat. And the little hand reaching out. I also like when you pickpocket them, like they can't react strongly enough to like know that you stole from them. But they always do something, right? They're always like, oh shucks. Like they somehow know that they just got pickpocketed even though they don't really know. Hit him with the eagle vision? Oh, I didn't hit him with the eagle vision. Don't they like check their pockets after a while and they're like, what? They feel lighter. They just know they got. Like everyone feels it. You know how like sometimes you'll like order a pizza or something and you just get a bad vibe and you're like, God damn it, that's not coming, is it? And then of course 45 minutes later you get a call and you're like, yeah, they lost it or something. It's closed. Uh-oh. Ankles evaporated. That is definitely not what happened in history.
A traitor? I'm not a traitor. It's Al-Mualim who's betrayed us. You'll see. Soon, all your eyes will be opened to the truth. We stand upon the
too close.
Between this world and
there we go. Just right.
A better place where all might live as equals. But men like Al-Mualim would see this dream destroyed. 2 days attack.
Both times I got mugged, I felt that shit coming. It's definitely a thing. Oh man.
Give up your wicked ways.
I kind of forgot about Al-Mualim too.
Of Masyav, see through his lies.
Forgot about a lot of things. You had to eavesdrop on someone to find this guy? Yes. I guess the person I pickpocketed had like a letter that this guy was involved with? Is Mirage set in the same location as this original one? No. Mirage is in Baghdad, I think. Yeah, Baghdad, Golden Age of Islam. Actually, I'm kind of blanking on where this one is right now. I'm just standing there. Oh, that's right, it's Jerusalem. Step deal. Oh, it.
Enough! I yield! I yield!
Speak quickly then. I've no interest in your games. Why did you betray us? And who do you serve?
We serve the Templars. You should too. Their cause is just.
You're in Syria. Okay.
Jamal. He told me of their plans. Asked me to open the gate.
You betrayed us. We, who called you brother and kept you safe from harm.
I did what I believed was right. And if you must kill me for it, so be it. I am not afraid to die.
Your fate is not for me to decide. It's Al-Mualim who will judge.
Fast-forwarding memory to a more recent one.
You stand accused of betraying our brotherhood and opening the way for our enemies. How do you answer to these charges?
I deny nothing. I'm proud of what I did. My only regret is that they failed.
I offer you a chance to repent, to renounce the evil in your heart.
It is not evil in my heart, but truth. I will not repent.
Then you will die.
His beard looks wicked.
You did well, Altair, and have earned the right to carry a blade once more.
What will become of the one who helped him?
It remains to be seen. Some do ill out of ignorance or fear. These men can be saved. Others suffer from corruption.
Oh yeah, the American accent that doesn't exist for another couple hundred years. More than a couple hundred, right?
Destroyed. Soon enough, we'll know what's...
This is in like 1040 or something like that?
Test then. What now?
Modern American, I guess, started in the
begun.
50s?
I hold here a list. 9 names.
Oh, 1200s. Oh, okay.
9 men who need to die. They are plague bringers, war makers.
1191.
Power and influence corrupts the land and ensures the crusades continue. You will find them.
Yeah, 700 years. Jeez.
In doing so, you'll sow the seeds of peace.
I mean, whatever.
For the region,
It started off being very self-serious and lavishly devoted to like historical accuracy.
9 lives in exchange.
And then the managerial guard changed.
offer, I think.
And then you're riding laser donkeys.
Questions?
Only where I need begin.
Very well. Ride for Damas. Seek out the black market merchant named Tamir. Let him be the first to fall.
I do hope that Mirage is a return or at least a willingness to experiment with this older style of Assassin's Creed.
Dispatch a bird to inform the Rafik of your arrival. Speak with him. You'll find he has much to offer.
If you believe
Always trips me up when I see footage of casual conversation in the 1940s, and the American accent is so different.
Without his consent.
What nonsense is this? I don't need his
Now we all have YouTube
waste of
accents.
time.
It's the price
What's up, guys?
mistakes you've made.
I guess that's very still West Coast.
Not only to me, but all the Brotherhood as well now.
So be it.
Take your equipment and go. Prove that you are not yet lost to us.
Smashing that like button is universal. Neat. You can do the thing. Do it. Do the shink. Do the snicked. Damn it! Snicked! Do I have to wait for the tutorial to go away? I probably can't draw weapons in here, actually. Yeah, I think you have to be outside.
Altair, it seems my students do not fully understand what it is to wield a blade. Perhaps you could show them what you know.
I still can't snicked. Ridiculous.
You
I can
must be busy. I understand.
Yep. Sorry, bud.
You must be busy. I understand. Don't toss your weapons around so carelessly.
I got snickting to do. Really important. Also, I saw a flag. It would actually be pretty satisfying to come back and bag the rest of the achievements in this game. Fuck those flags. They are pretty bad because you have no tool to discover them later, right? There's no like thing that reveals them on the mini map. You just have to watch like a YouTube video and just find them all. Those flags are brutal. Yeah, I didn't get any of the I didn't get all the flags the first time. I probably would have, but I missed the achievement for getting all of Lucy's dialogue, so I was like, well, what's the point? There we go. There's that snicked. Snicked. I'm walking down the street and I'm feeling a little murdery. Feeling a little stabby.
What did he do?
Isn't this one like 100 flags per city? No, it's like 20. This game was civilized with its pick-upables a little bit. It got a little better later too when they would give you more like maps and stuff, tools to actually pick up everything. And they put them on the radar and stuff. Yeah, it got kind of bananas, right? There was like the sheet music in 3 where you had to like parkour cleanly. I thought that was fun. At least it was like something that wasn't just stabbing random dudes. And 4 just had feathers everywhere. Or other stuff. Oh, that was 4? I thought 3 had the sheets too, but maybe not. That was Black Flag. Alright, never mind. 3 had something, right? I thought there was something you had to chase. Three had the almanac pages. Yeah, didn't they flap away from you? Okay. They had sheets, but they were pages. Okay, my bad. They weren't music in 3. Nice. Oh, that's right. There's a horse. Oh, forgot about horse. Yeah, because you got to take the horse between the cities, right? That's right. And there's that big open field with the towers in it. Horse jump. Huh. Yeah, there's a weird unmarked hub world in this one. There is. Forgot about this. Yeah, Assassin's Creed 2 was just kind of like the cities and then loading between them. There wasn't this kind of like no man's land. Again, this downtime. Just kind of trimming it.
Use free running to escape from a fight when exposed.
Very Shadow of the Colossus like. Yeah, like the color scheme. Got that desaturated landscape look. Kind of nearish a little bit. Oh, I gotta get my first tower. You know I do. All right, we'll call it at the first tower. First of many. I think I will probably play this more, though. I'm enjoying it. But I also like to start a lot of games. Yeah, the first of many Ubisoft towers. Yeah, this was it, right? This was the first tower game. We played through all of them. Sort of. It's kind of. I did not finish Odyssey, if finishing means like completing the story. I played Odyssey for like 40 hours or so. Just to really figure out what they were doing there. And then Valhalla, like I played the intro, and as soon as the intro was over, I was like, oh, this is Odyssey again. It's just Odyssey again. I was like, I don't need to play Odyssey again. And the aesthetic doesn't hyper appeal to me. Like Viking stuff is cool and all. I guess they got a little wackier with that. There's more like magical stuff. I never messed around with the Discovery Tour stuff. Maybe that would make it a little better. Just get the story and get out. You go into a lot of games knowing you have no intention of finishing. Can't wrap my head around it. Well, I mean, I've already finished this. This was kind of satisfying a curiosity. I just really wanted to see what the game looked like. Honestly, I was mostly curious visually how it scaled up with like... I didn't know that it had updates for Xbox Series X, but I'm very grateful it does. I was going to check it out on PC, but it just didn't run. But I was kind of curious to see what it looked like. Because I remember it looking pretty good, having like really solid direction. But just kind of running at like 20 FPS on 360. So now that it's like at least 1080p, maybe even higher actually, and 60 FPS, this is awesome. This is super playable. So I'm having a good time. Like, if it didn't run well or at all, or if something about it just didn't appeal to me as much as I remembered it, then maybe not, but... Anytime you run off into the distance with the horse before loading the next region and leap of faithing, you should have the What I've Done guitar riff. Sounds like a pretty classic YouTube edit to me. I'm going to try to see if you can play it on PC on your own. I don't think so. This is more than good enough. I think on a PC, you know, there's probably like iNitrix or mods or graphical hacks that could probably punch it up a little bit, but I think this is a really good representation. Good enough. It's well modernized, and for the love of God, at least it's stable. Yeah, it's 2007 game. 15 years at this point. 15 years. Decade and a half. Ooh. But you know what? Good ideas are always good ideas. So yeah, I'll find time to get back to this. Let's see here. Tomorrow's Monday, huh? The good news is that's a big day of streaming. I think we're going to try to do more 14 raids tomorrow, but I'm going to get back to Fallout New Vegas tomorrow. Speaking of Gen 7 classics, I actually have never finished Fallout New Vegas, so I get to dedicate a good portion of the day to it, and then back trying to beat Phoenix in Final Fantasy 14, and then maybe more of this after. I don't know. I'm also playing through Cyberpunk again. I got the taste for that, and it's great. So yeah, big day of streams tomorrow. Back on that big iron. Exactly. I can't wait. And those big naturals. Yes. A lot of big. Everything's big. So hope to see you then. Thanks for watching. And I had a great time. I had a great time today. Hopefully you had a good time too. I'll catch you next time. Bye everybody.